All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be talking MLB and WNBA in this one. Ultimately, going to bring you guys 4 plays on PrizePicks, and I'm also going to talk about a slip over on Betr, just because there's insane value on Betr. And if you guys don't even know what I'm talking about, I'll show you that in a second. You got to try that app. It's just crazy value. But before that, again, we're going to go through our PrizePicks plays. No football till Thursday. That video for Thursday Night Football will come out tomorrow. But yeah, some solid value on the board. Just be careful. MLB is very much winding down, only a few more games for them. And then the WNBA is in playoff mode. So yes, we like to look at our last few games and things like that, but it could be a little bit different just because playoffs are a little bit different for the WNBA, and the end of the season for baseball can be a little bit challenging as well. But we're going to do our best, take a look at some plays. Again, ultimately 4 for you guys. You can pick and choose your favorite ones. You can do all 4 of them, throw them in a 4-man or a 5-man, whatever you want to do. And it's ultimately up to you. So I'm going to pick them out, show you guys why I like them, some market value, some hit rates, and things like that. And then we'll be out of here. So if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. It's going to tell YouTube to push this thing out there a little bit more, and I appreciate that. So let's jump into the desktop screen here and look at some PrizePicks plays. All right, so jumping into the board here, we got Tyler O'Neill. It's going to be our first play. Going to kind of try to go in chronological order. So if you're watching this a little bit later, Tyler O'Neill is the earliest game. Should have plenty of time to get this in 6-7 hours. But yeah, Tyler O'Neill for the Red Sox, who are not technically mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, but they're pretty much there. There's like a 0.1% chance they can make it. And Tyler O'Neill has been struggling. He was awesome to like beginning of the season, especially middle of the season, but he's been struggling. He looks frustrated out there. They've been bouncing around from the 4-hitter, 5-hitter to the 2-hitter, I think he is today, but he has not been able to get anything going. Had a back issue a few days ago that he returned just yesterday for that game, and I think he went 0 for 4 in that game. So someone who's struggling end of the year. They're not going to push him too hard, especially with a back injury. So, maybe potentially not even getting his 4 or 5 at-bats. Maybe if that thing's bothering him, he can only see 2 at-bats or something like that. So I'm liking the under, taking the under on a guy later in the season and someone who's really been struggling. So going into Outlier, I'm going to show a few different tools throughout this video. If you are interested in any of them, you're like, damn, this thing looks awesome, I want to try this out. You can actually try most of them out for a free trial. If not, though, I think DG Fantasies particularly doesn't have a free trial, but you can check it out using my codes in the description down below. You're going to get some sort of perk. So I think you get like 25 or 50% off your first month on DG Fantasy. But yeah, Outlier, you do get a free week, so might as well check that out. But here's Tyler O'Neill. You can see the hit rates here. 52% of the games he's gone on the under here, so very consistent around that 50-50 mark. And you can see, huge games at the beginning of the year, a little bit of a lull, huge games in the middle of the year. And you see a decent drop off the past month or so if you want to look at that. So last 20 games under this in 75%, which is a very big drop. And he's going up against a pitcher that I've learned to love, Bowden Francis, a guy that has just been turning it up at the end of this season here. 98 pitches for the season, 3.47 ERA, and a .93 WHIP. So not a lot of action against him. And again, so I'm really hitting Tyler O'Neill here when he's down. And he gets right-handed pitchers, he also takes a little bit of a hit. So you look at the last 20 games against right-handed pitchers, 85% of games he's on the under here. You do see some stats pulling up right here. Against normal righties and lefties for the season, he's 243 batting average. Against righties specifically for the season, 210. So much, not much worse, but decent drop-off there for sure. And then Bowden Francis pretty much right around the same to right-handed batters or left-handed batters. Actually, the batting average for him drops off a little bit. So yeah, I'm taking a guy while he's down, but Tyler O'Neill continues to struggle. I think he's going to do that once again today. I'm not sure if he's been better away or home. Looks like he has been worse at away games as well. So a lot of things pointing in the right direction, or I guess the wrong direction for Tyler O'Neill, and really liking the under on this one. So that's going to be the first play, fading Tyler O'Neill, but I am going to go for an over in the next play here, and it's going to be a guy that we all know and love. So I was just about to look him up in the search bar, but he's actually the most popular play of the entire day for good reason. Some of these, some people are just looking at the last 5 games, and if you saw this, you probably take the over anyway, but I'll show you down the breakdown, the market value, things like that, and why this one is looking really good. Yeah, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs will absolutely take that for Shohei. He's been crushing it, and I really like the matchup. So let's look at his outlier page here. Probably should have pulled it up, but I'll pull him up real quick. Ohtani. Again, insane 6 for 6 game. That was just absolutely ridiculous. We're looking at the over here. Let's look at the last 10 games. 70% hit rate in the last 10 games. Over the whole year, 63% hit rate going over this. and home games 63%. Right-handed pitchers 63%. All, I guess, home games and right-handed pitchers, you're looking at 70%. So another thing where you just look at these little caveats where we have a lot of different data behind now because we're so late in the season, and looking really, really good for Shohei here. The last thing I want to point out is not only his market value looking really good, but he's going up against He's going up against Michael King, who, again, great pitcher for the entire year, 1.19 whip, 3.04 ERA. And against a lot of these guys on the Dodgers, he's pretty good. But you go down to Shohei, he's right at the bottom, 12 at-bats, 3 home runs, bats .417 and 4 RBIs, specifically against Michael King. So, yes, obviously King's a great pitcher. He's been pitching great all year. Ton of innings under his belt, 168 of those things. But Shohei's a different beast, and he's hot right now at home game against right-hand pitcher, where he is a better batter. 315 versus 301 batting average. Everything looking really good. Last but not least, I do want to pull this up. I forgot to show this for Tyler O'Neill, but this is showing us market value, kind of similar to DG Fantasy, but just a few more data points. Tyler O'Neill right here, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. The under, minus 130, consensus Sportsbooks average. So all these other books are saying, hey, you want to take the over? We'll pay you out more money if you want to take the over. If you want to take the under, we're going to pay you less because it's more likely to happen here. And I want to show that Shohei Ohtani here, also very similar, minus 130.9 on the over. All these other books saying, yeah, take the over. We're going to pay out less because that's where we're projecting as well. And on the under, they're saying, yeah, we'll give you plus money if you want to take the under on Shohei today. So first two plays at baseball, both hits, runs, and RBIs lines. One guy taking the under, one guy taking the over. Great market value for both of them. A lot of data points that we can look at, right-handed pitching, home games, things like that. That matters in baseball. Stadiums matter. Right-handed versus left-handed definitely matter. And both these guys, everything kind of pointing in the right direction for each of them. Again, O'Neill on the under, Shohei on the over. So that's going to be the two MLB plays. Shohei plays much later in the day, 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Tyler O'Neill's at 7 o'clock Eastern. And then I think the two WNBA plays I'm going to give you guys are right in the middle. So really liking these two guys. And that's going to do it for MLB. Let's move into some WNBA plays. Okay, so moving into our WNBA plays here. My first one's going to be Sabrina Ionescu, under 10.5 rebounds and assists. This doesn't mean I'm not, sure or know that she can go over this line. She absolutely can crush this line. But I do like the fact that it's the playoffs. Courtney Vandersloot is in the lineup, and it's a team she struggled against to get this line, more often than not, with blowout potential and all those different things. So I think there's a lot of stuff going in the right direction here. I think if I had to choose or guess where she's going to land, she might land at 10. So this one might be a sweat. Again, she's definitely capable of crushing this line, but I do like a lot of variables, considering the under for this one. So Sabrina Ionescu, under 10.5 rebounds and assists. That's what we're going to be looking at real quick. So let's take a look at her hit rate here. 55% of games she's gone under the under. You see some of these games she's absolutely crushing this line. You see a lot of these games she's right at that 10 mark, 9-10 mark. So again, could be very sweaty. But I do like to see, second half of the season here, she's been more under than over. And I want to point out as well, Courtney Vandersloot, the super vet, I don't know how old she is now, but she'll be handling the ball. It's playoff time. And when she's in the lineup, it's a 61% hit rate on the under. So I do really like to see that. Taking her out of the equation, I also want to point out the fact that this is the playoffs, like I mentioned earlier. So yes, she went under in the one playoff game so far. She had 10 against this Atlanta team. And in 2023 last year, you see same hit rate, 55% time on the under, but second half of the year, and especially those playoff games, I think she only went over in 2 of the, 7 or 8 playoff games. Looks like 8 or 9 playoff games that she played. So another good, good data point to point out there. And then the last but not least, the thing I want to point out is specifically against this Atlanta team. You look at guards, assists allowed, rebounds allowed, more mediocre. Assists allowed is where she really gets, these high lines when she's getting, 10 plus assists, 12 assists. So it's good to see that this team does limit assists to guards at ranked 4th for the season. And that translates to her hit rate against this team specifically this year. They've had 5 games this year, and she stayed under in 4 of those 5 games. So this is a tough one. You don't like to go under on players that can crush a line, but I do like this. And projection models, data, market value, everything kind of pointing on the under. This is my favorite projection model, RotoWire. You can see their rebounds and assist line. They're guessing 10.38. So again, that is under 10.5. And then in terms of some market value, few books have her up at this 10.5 rebounds and assist line. minus 125 on the under, minus 115 on the over consensus average sportsbook odds. So nothing too crazy like the Shohei line or the Tyler O'Neill line, but still looks like people are favoring the under on this line. So everything kind of pointing again in the right direction here. That's what you're always looking for when I'm finding good lines. And again, she could totally crush this line, but I predict her to get 9 or 10. Could be a sweaty under for us, but I'm feeling confident about it. And then last but not least, I want to point out Skylar Diggins here at 34.0 fantasy points. I really like the consistency that she's been playing with. She's always right around the line. She's been going over this line, more like a 38 average over the last 10 games or so. And she's also going against a team that she has a very, very good, consistent history against this year and dating back to the last time she played them. But yeah, she's looked great. She looked great in the first playoff game. The Storm only put up 67 points as well, and she still hit this line. So let's take a look at her averages here, what she's been doing. And again, it's really the consistency to point out for me. So you're going to look at the whole season and say, 44% hit rate, not the best in the world. But again, look at how right around this line she's been, the last 10, 12 games, and she's been going over. So, last 20 games is a 65% hit rate. This game was a playoff game against the Aces just last, 2 days ago or yesterday. Yeah, 2 days ago. And, only 67 points was the team, like I mentioned before, and she still gets over there with 38.8 fantasy score. So she's capable of going off. If this team's going to put up 90 points, I'd expect some more fantasy points for Skylar Diggins here. But yeah, she's been very consistent the past few games. Hit rate in the last 12 games or whatever has been, 10 of the last 12 games, 8 of the last 10 games. It looks really good. Now, another thing I want to point out here is that she elevates her game on away games. She is a veteran. She's been around for a while, and sometimes you need to lock in while the younger people on the team just aren't going to be as locked in. Role players aren't going to play as well on the road, things like that. You hear about this in the NBA. So 52% of games on the away games, she's been able to do that. In that first game of the matchup or series was an away game as well. And then head-to-head is the big point out here. For the last 5 games, she's gone over this, and these were all this year. The only game she missed was an 83-94 game, which I'm surprised she missed against. But these other ones, she's right around 38 in terms of an average fantasy score. So really liking Skylar Diggins. There's not much market value I can show you for this one. RotoWire's projection model is right on the money, 34.06. So they're predicting something right around that more line. But again, I'm kind of in that 38 range, and I think she can go there and do that for us. So those are going to be the 2 plays in the WNBA. We talked about the MLB as well. And really, really liking the 4 plays for today. All right, so that's going to do it for the PrizePicks plays for today. If you're not on PrizePicks, just remember to use code RichPicks when signing up. They're going to give you $50 just for betting $5. So go in there, put $5 in, place a bet. They're going to fill you up with $50 when you use my code. So I appreciate that. And again, if you missed it, go back in the video. We talked about Tyler O'Neill. We talked about Shohei Ohtani. We talked about our 2 WNBA players. So four plays for PrizePicks, but I wanted to end the video like this. I mentioned at the beginning, and it's a better slip that I put together. And 4 of these 5 plays are still available on the board. The only one that's not available is Luis Ariz. So if you don't know Betr and you want to check it out, I want to show you how much value you're getting on these plays. I do my due diligence to look at the hit rates and matchups and things like that and add that to my research. But if you want to just be going off mathematically being able to get advantage and win in the long term just based on math, this is where market value comes into play, and why Betr right now is like one of my favorite places to bet. So let's just go down the line. I'm not going to go into any history. It's going to just take 30 seconds. Mitch Spence under 2.5 pitching runs. You want to look at consensus odds. That's Logan Gilbert. I didn't go in order. Mitch Spence right here, minus 138.9 average sportsbook odds. That's nuts. That's nuts. You'll never see it on PrizePicks. You'll never see that on Underdog. Very, very rarely. And if you do, they're going to get taken off immediately. This one has been up for at least an hour that I've seen it. So just in crazy value, minus 135 on Pinnacle, minus 144 parlay play, minus 135 value on DraftKings. The average sportsbook odds should not be this high for a fixed payout system. It's just insane. And you go down the line. Logan Gilbert, minus 140.7 average sportsbook odds. Insane. You're going to see, not on PrizePicks, not on Underdog. Joey Ortiz, minus 139.8. Insane. Minus 138.4 for Jake McCarthy over singles. Insane. None of these plays are going to be available on these 2 apps. and Betr is still a fixed payout system, which is the same payout system as PrizePicks and Underdog, sometimes even a little bit better. So that's what I'm kind of preaching Betr. It's kind of my favorite app right now. If you use code RichPicks, you get free month of my Discord. You get deposit match up to $200, which is insane. And the last one that I got, a lot of people in the Discord got as well, was Luis Arias, which is now up. It's not available on Betr anymore. They finally took it off. But minus 155 value, just ridiculous that we were able to even see that earlier on. Obviously, the lines, move sometimes, but looks like we got a good one in that. So, just wanted to point you guys, the direction of, mathematics behind sports betting. Obviously, I went ahead and looked at the matchups like I mentioned earlier. So really, really liking this play. But I just thought I had to mention the fact that Betr has insane value. You can use my code RichPicks. It's a great way to support the channel. If you do use my code, they're going to match your deposit up to $200. So you put $200 in, you'll have $400 to play with. I don't care if you put $10 in or $200. I think you should take advantage of the deposit match. But yeah, it's an awesome app. I've been using it a lot, and we've already hit a 20x on this app. We've been very close to a couple other ones. I usually get at least a slip out a day, and you'd get that slip if you were part of our Discord community. So I'm not going to go all into it. It's an awesome community. Check out the links in the description for any of the tools I was using. Obviously, if you want to join that community and get access to all my slips, but also a bunch of other people's slips and people talking and chatting all the time, that's in the description down below as well. And if you sign up for any of my codes using any of the platforms, so PrizePicks, Underdog, Sleeper, Betr, any of the ones, you're going to get a free month. You can check out the Discord community for free by doing that. So if you do that, make sure you hit me up in my comment section, or just join the Discord. There is a free part of the Discord as well. Just hit me up in the chat, the general chat, or DM me or something like that. I'll do my best. Just get a hold of me, and I'll get you in there for free. Don't worry about that. Wanted to point out Betr. Obviously, we went over the PrizePicks slip earlier. It's going to do it. So leave a video like, comment something down below. We're going to be talking Thursday Night Football in tomorrow's video, so we're going to get on it a little day earlier and try to find some value there. Maybe we'll make a Betr slip again. So again, can't stress enough, the value on Betr right now is ridiculous. We should not be getting fixed payout system and being able to access to minus 140 lines. The math doesn't work there, and huge edge. So that's going to do it. I'm rambling. This is a longer video because I ramble a lot, but I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll talk some football.